Welcome to Canadian Justice. I'm Christine Van Gyn, and today we're talking about the role that franchised businesses play in Canada's economy. June 11th is World Franchise Day, and while many of us may not think about franchises, they're actually a part of the fabric of our daily lives. From where you grab your morning coffee, fill up your car with gas, buy your makeup and prescriptions, to your home hardware and home goods, franchising is a huge part of Canada's economy. It is Canada's 12th largest industry and contributed $133 billion and 2 million jobs to our country's economy last year. But being a part of this entrepreneurial business model comes with its own unique and surprising legal issues. What should we know about this business model that is so ingrained in our lives? And what does it take to run a successful franchise? Here today to discuss this is somebody who thinks about franchises on a daily basis, lawyer Jen Shayko of the law firm Aird Berlis. Jen, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so thrilled to talk to you about this. First, I talked a little bit in the beginning about the types of businesses that make up the franchising industry, but maybe you can expand on the breadth of this industry and how ingrained it is in Canada's economy.
Thanks, Christine. Franchising touches so many different industries that you wouldn't even think of in your day to day life. So, some of the industries that you may not have thought about before are hotels. Most hotels are franchises, senior care. So, this is care for seniors in their home or outside of their home. Home service industries. So, whether that's repair, restoration, or renovation. Tutoring services. There's lots of different types of tutoring services for children or adults. Those are almost always franchises. Commercial cleaning. Commercial cleaning, there's lots of franchises in that space, as well as the janitorial space, automotive dealerships, automotive parts. The list really goes on, and there's over 50 industries that franchising touches and growing.
Wow. So, we've been talking about franchises like everybody knows what those are. I think we all intuitively have an understanding of an example of a franchise. Most Canadians probably think of Tim Hortons, but I know there is a technical legal definition of what makes something a franchise. It's defined through law and regulation and in agreements. So, what is it technically, legally speaking, that makes something a franchise?
Question. So, the definition of franchise under the Ontario legislation, which is called the Arthur Wishart Act, is very, very broad. And this definition is similar across other provinces in Canada that also have franchise legislation. So, it actually captures a lot more business relationships than you would think. But the hallmark of what makes something a franchise is that one, there would need to be some kind of license or grant being given by the franchisor to a franchisee. Two, there needs to be some kind of payment that is being made, whether that's a continuing payment or a one time payment by the franchisee back to the franchisor. And number three is that the franchisor must have some kind of significant control over the franchisee's operations, or the franchisor could provide the franchisee with significant assistance.
That
And
adds a lot of
although
clarity. Yeah. I'm curious, what are some of the advantages of this business model? Why would a business choose to expand as a franchise instead of just having multiple locations of one corporation?
Yeah, so franchising as a business model makes a lot of sense for franchisors that want to expand and grow their brand and grow, obviously, their consumer base, but without having to spend their own capital. So that is one major advantage of the franchising model. Another big advantage of franchising is that you get to work with a local operator, someone in that market who knows their community, who knows the people in that community, and has a good sense on the ground of what that specific community or region may be looking for. So you get that local expertise from someone local. And also, you get someone who's very motivated,
Hmm.
someone who has an entrepreneurial spirit and wants to really get in the business, roll
Right,
up their sleeves,
right.
and really
We
dedicate themselves
we've got to
to
go to
that person.
break. We've got to go to break, but we'll be right back.